Welcome, survivors, burnout community, and those just interested. It's Kelly Bubolz, trainer, author, speaker, and your burnout prevention mentor. Burnout is not taboo. It's our reality in this chaotic, fast-paced world. But we're not going to let it drive the narrative to our stories. We're going to do something about it. So let's dig in. Have you ever had those hard tasks in which you need to get it done, but you will choose everything else to do before that task? It could be studying for an exam, a large project at work, some studying and research or data analytics that you need to dig into. It could be that next big house and yard project that you need to dig into, but you'll do everything else. You'll go clean the house instead of going to that house project. You'll go pick some weeds before you build another structure outside. You might do all the little things at work, like cleaning up your email box, moving some files around, reorganizing your desk, instead of doing that one hard thing that you're trying to avoid. This is productive procrastination. It's actually structured procrastination. It's choosing something else instead of a large, big, or difficult task to work on. And it's your brain's way of saying, I have to think. I don't want to process this right now, so let's do other things. It's how we delay certain tasks by doing many others and still feeling good about it. So I do this often. I love variety. I'm a high I, which means I love to start things. It's more difficult for me to close it up, to finish it up, and move on. I would rather do 9 things at once, halfway, than actually finish one big thing. It's how I work. It's the creative style that I enjoy. Other people, they might dig too far into data instead of actually doing the work on it. They might want to talk to all the people, but not actually want to do the execution of what needs to be done. We all have different work styles, both personal and professional. So for myself, I'll create a laundry list of things that I need to do, and there'll be a couple big hitters on there. And those big hitters will sit on that list, and I'll do all the little things. And then I'll create a new list of little things to do before I get to the big ones. So where this can be positive is eventually the important project gets done, the big goal, the thing that you set out to do. You make your brain think, you do hard things, and you complete it. So it can be positive because you're knocking out a lot of work and still getting that big end goal completed. Where it can be harmful and where it becomes actually a harmful habit and behavior is if it's always used to avoid things, to avoid processing things, to avoid ever completing anything. Have you ever seen those people, and I used to be one as well, that they have many different planners, many different books on their shelves, many different projects, but nothing is completed? And that's okay until it starts piling up, till you have bookshelves of books that you'll never read. Planners started but never finished. Projects created, materials everywhere, and now you're just hoarding instead of completing projects and what the intent was supposed to be. Here's where it can happen in the workforce. An employee starts out to do something, gets distracted with other items. That's okay, as long as the end goal, end project, end task gets completed. But they don't complete it. So then they use deflection and blame of why they were too busy doing all these other things than doing the actual task, the value-add function they were hired for, in order to complete the job. Here's a great workforce example. I've dealt with employees on a disciplinary and termination level working in HR all these years. And there's employees that will work on all these other things instead of the one thing that should be getting done. The one value-add function that they were hired for. What their position provides value to the company. And those things, when they don't start being done because they're doing all the little things, that's where it can become a negative. That's where the behavior becomes an excuse. Deflection and blame that they're too busy. That's where productive procrastination no longer is productive. It's just procrastination. So if we can stay away from that deflection and blame and still get the big hitters done, we can stay in that positive manner, the productive side of procrastination. Here's a few steps we can do to stay in that positive. It's a behavior. So that means it's a lifestyle change that we need to be very cognizant that we're doing or not doing, because no one's going to hold you accountable except for yourself. The first step is to admit it. Find the why behind why you're avoiding the big task. Is it too big? Is it unachievable? Do you not have the materials, the resources, the competency to do it? Are you overtired because you're overdoing it on the little things? Find out the why of why your brain wants to avoid the big task. What is the environment and tools? We can get these big hitters done if we make it easy for the brain to process. If you have a very large task in front of you, what's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Don't look at the end goal, the big task. Look at each little step to get there. And you will see that the brain can process those minimal moments better than the big task. It almost gets into a project paralysis, and can't even start. And then what tools do you put in place to make sure that you can maintain those small goals? Is it, I need to get this done by noon today instead of 4 p.m.? Because if you say, I can get it done by 4 p.m., that gives me 8 hours. Do you see how much procrastination happens? Because I'll fill that space with all the little things. But if I say I had to have this done by noon, it becomes priority. It becomes a focus because I have less time to achieve it. So create an easy environment between time management, the distractions that come into play, and the goals you create for the brain to say, that's not as big of a project as I thought. Let's knock it out. When we set goals, make sure that they're small. We tend to overestimate small goals and underestimate long ones. There's a lot of small things we do every day that we work hard towards, and it builds to bigger transformation, bigger projects, bigger change. But when we choose to focus on that bigger picture at the front end, it can be defeating. And so we overestimate all the tasks that have to come into play. So I want you to break up the small goals that are achievable within the time frame you have today. Do that. And then tomorrow do another. And then next week another. And then you get to your large goals. So set goals, small goals. The accountability portion can come in all different forms depending on the person you are. Is it your partner at home? Is it a team member at work? Is it these mastermind groups, the community that you thrive in that can hold you accountable? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's an external person to hold you accountable. Tell them what you're trying to achieve, the goal in mind, the deadline, and suddenly you will see yourself a little bit more in focus towards completing this big project. When we leave it up to ourselves, our mind can play all sorts of tricks on us, such as excuses. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm too tired. This came up. But when someone else is counting on you, someone else knows this information, the brain tends to make it a priority. Another good tip is to take frequent breaks. Prep for the next step. If I take a break for 10 minutes, when I come back, I'm going to do this. Right? I'm prepping for what I'm coming to next, making it easy for the brain. My time is measured. I'm going to go at this another 20 minutes. And then after that, I'll do this. Again, prepping. I'm putting a time limit to it and making it easy for the brain to process. And then the last step to help stay in the positive is to clarify what needs to be done. When we really back up and look at a project, do we even know what we're supposed to be working on? What's of value? What can wait? Understanding who you are and your reactions to these large projects, the things we're procrastinating on, the large tasks, understanding who you are and how you react to those is going to be important. Do you delay and procrastinate because you're a perfectionist? You need a lot of time to dig in? You want to really get into the details? Do you delay because you want to defy who's ever asking for the task? You want to defy how you are using your time or how people want you to use your time? Are you the dreamer? The person that constantly creates so they can't focus? The overdoer who goes above and beyond what is actually expected, creating their own mayhem? So you can see how this productive procrastination can easily shift into a negative, into just plain procrastination where things aren't being done, deflection, blame, excuses come in, and now it's a behavior that's dragging you into a different lifestyle. So use this structured procrastination, this productive procrastination, to stay in the positive. Admit when you're doing it. Figure out the why of why you're avoiding such tasks. Put the tools and the environment in place to start to work at this large project through small goals. Hold accountability by getting some resources externally through partners, teams, and master groups. Frequently take breaks and setting up what you're going to do next. Measuring that time, which also holds you to accountable tasks and functions, making it easier for the brain to process. And then clarify what actually needs to be done. We overplan and overcommit. This helps us break it down to the real value it brings and the outcomes that we want. I know you're not lazy. Most people in burnout are high performers, those serving others before themselves. Don't discount this step today, the action in which you focused on your self-growth. Piecing together the puzzle is half the journey. Rediscovering yourself, energy, and establishing new habits is the other. Do not underestimate the untapped inner strength inside you. Explore more resources on my website to move from zombie mode back to liveliness. See you soon.